Welcome back to the channel. Last night's NBA playoff action, we had crazy moments, big time performances from big time players, and we saw a few things for some players where they're still underperforming. We had the Knicks versus the Hawks, we then had the Celtics versus the Nets, and lastly for the last game of the night, we had Clippers versus Mavs. Before I get into the reaction and all the recaps, of course, leave a like if you enjoy the content, subscribe if you're new. We're on our way to 1,000 subscribers and we need your help to get to that goal, and of course share this video with all your friends that love NBA content. But besides all that, let's get into the video. So to begin, let's talk about the Knicks versus the Hawks. One of the few series in this first round that's very interesting. It's been competitive and it has some big time moments. We could talk about Trae Young, the dagger in game 1, and in game 2 where Trae Young was telling everybody meet us back in the A, and in game 3 the Hawks came out and performed. The Hawks are a very good team. You've seen that they're just slightly better than the New York Knicks, and it's leading with their best player Trae Young. Trae Young, 21-14. The guy is a baller. He's getting his guys open. Their offense is just so smooth. And the Hawks they're a very good team. And I looked at how they have Capella. They have so many good pieces on that team that are just fulfilling their roles. And then you look on the Knicks side, and it's just they're to Julius Randle. And I said that I assumed that in game 3 he'd play a lot better, because the first 2 games he really underperformed. You could talk about maybe game 2, the second half of game 2 he did okay, but he's got to play better, man. It's not the end of the series. They're only down 2-1, so you can still win game 4 and get back home court. But Julius Randle, it really sucks because we really thought that Julius Randle was like that entering the playoffs, that he could really make a run and lead this New York Knicks team. But we're just not seeing that. And I don't think that. I think that from this playoff series, if they do lose, I don't think it's a knock on what he did this season. I think you still gotta be impressed with what he did, being the most improved player from last year. But I think the New York Knicks will now know that, okay, we don't think that Julius Randle can be our main option. He could be a second option and then go ahead and get a bigger piece in free agency or something down the road. But the Knicks are figuring that out. D Rose has been doing what he can for the team, but it just comes down to the Hawks are just a better team than the Knicks right now. But needless to say, game 4, that things can change. Julius Randle can turn into the guy that we expect him to turn into, and we'll see. I really hope that it does, because I want the series to be more competitive. And Trae Young, again, I think the story of the series is Trae Young. It's his come out party. People are seeing the new guys come out, and this is his party. Trae Young is one of the best young point guards in the league, one of the young best players in the league, and he's showcasing that in this series. And the Atlanta Hawks team, they're fulfilling their roles from everyone on that bench who's all on the court. Capella, Bogdanovic, Gallinari, Kevin Huerter or Huerter. His name is so weird on 2K. Huerter or Huerter, I don't know, but he has a strap, so he's nice. But again, game 4 is coming up. Let's hopefully see the Knicks play a little bit more competitively, and maybe this goes 2-2. Let's talk about the Celtics Nets, one of the biggest games that night. So if you guys follow me on Twitter, I said that last night it was going to be hard for me to put out a video because I was DJing. I'm also a DJ. If you guys really didn't know, I'm an actual DJ. You follow me on my social media accounts. But the Celtics versus Nets game, I watched like I had the game on, and I was like, oh man, the Celtics are down 19-4. And I was like, okay, well, if they're going to be down 19-4, this game's a wrap. Like, it just seemed like the Celtics were not engaged. And then like that, they went on a crazy run. Tatum went off for 50 points. Kyrie did not have his best game. James Harden, we know who James Harden is, man. We know how great of a player he is. Watch out for a video posting today on James Harden. Watch out for that. And Kevin Durant too. We know they're all certified. But this was a game that I think the Brooklyn Nets needed early. And I think every championship team needs that one gut punch to the face, the mouth, wherever your funny bone is, wherever you get hit, they need that, because no team is just gonna lay down in the playoffs. No team. And I actually thought the Celtics were gonna do that, but I'm wrong for that, because when you have a player like Jayson Tatum, guys like Marcus Smart, guys who are very active in playoff moments like Tristan Thompson, you have to at least give them some respect and to believe that they will put out their best energy and best effort in these games. And they did that. I mean, Tatum had 50 points, man. 50 points without Jaylen Brown. You got to get this man his credit. Like I said before, the Nets needed this. They needed this gut punch. They needed to know that you guys can bleed. And I think this is good. This is something that's going to help them along their way for their championship run that they want to go on. I think they'll still win this series in 5. I think game 4, I think Kyrie won't play as bad as he did today, because when the big 3, you got to look at it this way: to beat the Celtics, to beat the Nets this game, Kyrie had to play bad. Tatum had to go off for an all-time performance. Tristan Thompson, everyone on the Celtics team had to play their best game, and you still had KD and Harden who went out for over 30 points. I believe Harden had 41 and KD had 39. So that's tough already. So it's gonna be tough to beat this team. But the Nets needed this. It's good that they're able to see that, okay, let's go to the game plan. Let's fix this. But before I close out on this segment, I want to mention one thing. Jeff Green not playing for the Nets right now is a huge gaping hole in their defense. And a lot of people keep talking about how their defense got better in this postseason. I don't believe that. I don't believe that their defense got better. I think they're playing a little bit more energy. And when you're playing against a team without their second best player in game 1 and game 2, in Jaylen Brown, the Celtics don't have Jaylen Brown, you're going to play better defense. You're going to be a lot better in the defensive side of the ball because they're missing a focal point in their offense. So you should be better. But when you're running a lineup with Kyrie, James Harden, KD, Joe Harris, and Blake Griffin as your starting lineup, that's not going to cut it when you talk about getting stops on defense. It's just not going to cut it. Blake Griffin is not a low post defender. Joe Harris is not a great perimeter defender. And you already have Kyrie, and I'll give credit to Kyrie because Kyrie low-key be standing, he be 10 toes. He's actually a very, very good defender. I'll give him his credit. James Harden too. But I want you guys to realize, think about how the Clippers, Kawhi, Paul George, you see how a lot of these great defenders have to exert that energy on offense? You have to do both. So I don't like that the Nets will have to use, I just don't like the lineup that they have right now with Blake Griffin and Joe Harris. I think that will change once Jeff Green comes back. But facing the Bucks, that's gonna have to change. But we'll see game 4. I think that was a very, very good performance from the Celtics in game 3. But game 4 should be very, very interesting, and I think the Nets will probably wrap that up in Boston. Let's talk about the biggest game of the night: Clippers versus Mavs. Ooh, man, this series, man. I can't lie to you. I think everybody on NBA Twitter was waiting for the Clippers to lose and had their tweets and drafts ready to just slander the team. And I ain't gonna lie, I was ready too. But I got to give them the credit, man. I know they're down 2-1, and their first 2 games were they underperformed. But Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, we can't say they haven't shown up in this series when it's time to play basketball. I mean, Kawhi had another 30-point performance. I mean, or PG, I'm not sure. I know PG or Kawhi had a 34-point performance. No, PG had 29 and Kawhi had 34. But, excuse me, these guys came into this game and had to, oh man, the first few minutes looked like they were about to run them off the court. It looked like Dallas was about to get them out of here, but they went on a run again. And I think that not running Zubac, and I talked about this, and if you guys really watch my videos, y'all know I talked about this. And again, leave a like and subscribe. You know, we're trying to build the channel up, of course. When I said this, I said that running Zubac at center is the death of the Clippers, because every single time they're finding that switch on Zubac and they're eating every single time. You can't keep him in the game. Zubac played 11 minutes. They ran with no center. Ibaka was injured, so they didn't have a center this game, and it worked. Now, why did it work? Why did it work? You had more spacing. You really couldn't find Zubac on the defensive pick and roll to just attack him like that. And I think they played a lot more harder than game 1 and game 2, and we expected that from the Clippers. The Mavs, we know Luka. We could talk all day about how great Luka is, and we know this. But Luka by himself, we already know, can't win this series. Kristaps Porzingis, again, I've said this before, 8 points. That's not it. As a second option on the Dallas Mavericks, that's not it. You cannot do that. They need you. Like, and it's very, very frustrating seeing this stuff. Like, it's frustrating seeing this shit because it's like you weren't here last year, right? You were injured, and you actually got suspended in one of the games, and you've been in the league for so long. It's like, what? Like, it's not like we're asking you to drop 30 points per game. We just want you to fulfill that role as a second option. If it's 16 points per game and 10 rebounds, okay, that's fine. But he's not even shooting well. He's not even rebounding the ball. I saw a tweet and a stat where Campazzo from the Denver Nuggets is averaging more rebounds than Kristaps Porzingis. Campazzo, I forgot his first name. If you guys, it's the point guard on the Nuggets. If you guys don't know who that is, I think he's European. I don't know if he's Italian, but he's European. But he's 5'11". Kristaps Porzingis is over 7 feet. How in the hell is he averaging more rebounds than you? That's just more energy, more work. Like, and of course Luka's gonna get more rebounds because we know how Luka is. He's always pushing the pace. But come on, bro, that's unacceptable. Kristaps got to play better. He got to play better. If Kristaps plays normal, they win this game, and it's tough because I'm not gonna lie to you. This series, as much as we love slandering the Clippers, we have to acknowledge that they still have Kawhi and PG, and we have to respect the talent on that team. Now, Luka may be the best player in this series, but we cannot just throw out the fact that Kawhi is one of the best players in the league, and Paul George has made a resume for himself since he's been in 2011, drafted, that he is a solid, great player, was an MVP favorite at one point. We got to respect it. That's just how it is. We could talk about they're all mishaps and all that stuff, but we got to respect the talent. We have to. But, again, Game 4, Mavs, I believe Luka will do what Luka does. And I think that the Clippers found out what they need to do on defense and play Zubac less minutes. But again, Kristaps Porzingis, I'm not rocking with it. He got to play better. He got to play better. Simple as that. You just need something from your second option. That's it. And we'll see what Game 4 holds in us, man. But again, if you guys enjoy the recaps and the reactions, man, go ahead and leave a like. You know, that helps the algorithm. You guys know what I'm about to say. Subscribe, share, all that stuff. But really, really, please subscribe. We're trying to go ahead and get to 2,000. I said 2,000. 2,000. It's coming, though. Best believe 2,000 subscribers is gonna happen this year. But we kind of get to 1,000 subscribers. Share it with your friends who love NBA content. And until next time, stay on beat.